Dear Elizabeth, my name is Keon Benton, and I'm from the downtown section of Elizabeth, New Jersey. With the lack of resources, employment, and role models in urban communities, some people turn to the streets to provide for their families, but not by choice. Everyone watching this docu-series, especially the teenagers, I hope and pray that you are listening and able to learn something from this story, because this project was put together for you. Meet Terry Murray Sr. He lost his son, Terry Jr., to gun violence in 2008. When there's beef in the streets, do you ever think to have a conversation before pulling the trigger?
When I had Terry when I was 19 years old, and that was a young age, having him, because I didn't know what I was doing, she didn't know what she was doing, as parents, I guess. And he was born at Elizabeth General Hospital, and we was together for the first 3 years. Then after that, we decided to go our separate. It was mutual. That's why I tell a lot of these young people that's maybe listening to this, is that when you're young and having children, that's a major responsibility, because you're not prepared to be a father, because of the lack of mentor. Because I didn't have a dad, I had a stepdad in my life. So all that trickled down to how I have a relationship with his mother. Terry was a very joyous little boy. He had the cutest little cheeks that I thought was kiss him on the cheeks. Said, "Dad, stop kissing me!" It makes me smile to even see his face, how great and communicated with just his smile. Very loving. His personality was one of the best ever. And everyone loved who he was. He went to Lafayette. Then he went to Mabel G. home. Then he went to St. Anthony's. It was a basketball. I let him play basketball at St. Anthony's private school. He played baseball. Okay. He wrestled, because I coached wrestling, so I had him wrestling first. He won some matches wrestling. He played football. He ran track for me too. He was able to get in that arena and flourish. And that's what I liked about the hobbies that he did do. And no problem he had ever struggling in the athletic arena, because it would just come natural to him. And that's what I really loved about him. He was a natural athlete. He was also, one of his other hobbies was a rapper. We call him Teflon, Tef. Then he went to the high school. He struggled a little bit, and I think a lot of his behavior as he got older reflected him struggling. He stayed back a year, and he was really upset that he stayed back. But I told him, well, you got to work harder.
So I asked Mr. Murray, was Terry Jr. gang affiliated?
Terry was in the streets. To be honest, Terry wasn't a perfect kid. Okay. And I'll sit here and I'll be telling you a story, but he wasn't a bad kid. You know what I mean? He wasn't perfect. He just got caught up hanging out with a few people that he shouldn't have been hanging out with. And then he's a loyal kid. So they probably was playing toughness. He really lived toughness. You see what I'm saying? You got a lot of wannabe cats that's in it, but he's the kind of kid that once he's in it, he's in it. Everybody else playing with it. So he didn't know how to change loyalty. So by him being too loyal, he was about it. And which the jokers that said it was about it was just playing games. But he couldn't figure that out. And I make a call to all them so-called OGs out there.
So he was gay?
No. They tried to affiliate him with that. It was just a crew he hung out with. You know what I mean? It was a crew. They tried to say, well, he's part of the Crips. Then he's part of Grape Street. But I'm saying, true gangs protect their community. They don't kill each other. That's what gangs used to do. They would protect their community. They protect the community from polices, for other people coming in their community. They make sure the women was walking down the street protected. When jokers are killing each other in the same area, and killing each other, and they only live 20 minutes away from each other in the same community, that is sickness. That is lack of knowledge. What kind of gangs kill each other? You got one corner, I got one corner, but you don't own anything in the city. Really? So when you get caught up in those labels, we get caught up in those labels, gangs or whatever, you got to be careful, because a true gang member protects his community.
April 27th, 2008.
That same day, about 5:30 p.m., and I was in the store, and he told me, he said, Dad, I should have listened to you. I said, Terry, don't worry about that. I said, because that's over with. I say, all the stuff you have did, don't worry about the stuff far as that's the past. I love you. He said, Dad, I should have listened to you, because I could have been part of a Black Panther movement. I could have been like Nelson Mandela. I could have been like Malcolm X. He said, Dad, you taught me all that. Now he was telling me this on the phone. He reflecting. He said, Dad, I should have listened to you. He says, I wish I wouldn't have listened to other people than you. I said, no, don't worry about that. We together. We're gonna be together tomorrow. I love you, so don't worry about that. That's over with, because I'm not judging you, because I make mistakes, Terry. Okay, Dad, I love you, man. He said, I'm just letting you know. Out of the blue, this phone call. So out of the blue, he said, Dad, I love you. He said, I should have listened to you, but I tried to get him away from that, from feeling guilty. Nah, man, I'm your father. I'ma love you forever. So don't worry about that. We all make mistakes. I made mistakes as a man. So now, that's okay. I said, but listen, we're gonna go to IHOP. We're gonna spend some time with your cousins and them, and we're gonna spend some time together. We're gonna eat. Within 9 hours later, he was murdered.
So my next question, push the conversation a little further. What happened?
This what was told to me, and this is what the detective said to me. He had a fight the day of, with a couple of days, a day of, or a day before, not too sure. But he had a fight with a particular young man, and the beef carried over. And so as the beef carried over, it was word on the street that they was looking to get him, the boys he had a fight with. So once I received that phone call, someone said, somebody want to hurt your son. I'm like, who hurt my son? So I called my son, and I spoke to his mother. I said, I heard somebody doubtfully hurt him. Why don't you let him come spend time with me, and just to get away from Elizabeth for a while. And she struggled with that. So I said, speak to him and see if he want to come, because then again, he didn't want to really come with me, because I was the disciplinarian. He was 19. We had our struggles. As far as me trying to keep him on a good path. So she understood why I was angry at him, because I wanted to be good in life. So he was making certain kind of choices. And again, I told you, he called me the day of. I heard. Then within 8 or 9 hours, he was gunned down. The detective told me it was an unmarked car parked around here somewhere, who jumped out on him as he walked out. As he walked out, they shot him up like he was a piece of cattle. And right now, today, we haven't had no detective that called, contact us, me or his mother. It's a possibility that the murderer no one never came to court, or no one was convicted of his murder. So that tells me that he could still be on the loose. It's a possibility we have a serial killer out here still, because no one went to trial on his behalf, meaning got convicted. And it's a lot of murders that occur in Elizabeth that's unresolved, that's unsolved, which I'm pretty sure the power that bees have an idea what may be going on, because you got a police force who has a hand on the streets at all levels, I believe. And they got gang unit police officers. I'm pretty sure that there's something chirping out there, but we never received any confirmation that someone was caught or been to trial or been convicted of my son Terry's murder. So for all I know, there's somebody walking the streets right now today who murdered my son.
So I asked Mr. Murray, how do you and your family cope?
Both of us can't be home crying, so I think that's not saying I'm emotionalist, but I understand that I have to carry that weight and try to keep his son mind right as well. So I'm dual, granddad slash dad. You see me? So I have a dual thing, and I think it's important that we show support to each other. 'Cause I support her, because that was her only son. A guy gave me opportunity to have more than one. I have a son and three daughters and my grandson, so I consider that as my son, so that's five. So God gave me opportunity to have more children. And so that was her only child. And so it's even, but then she got the grandson, so she has a chance to redeem herself too as well. That's the blessing of this. You see, what someone thought was something bad, something good came out of this. That's how I look at it, because I can't look at it as a major tragedy. Oh, no, I can't do that, because I got to be able to live my life for my children and my wife. You see, I still have him back in my mind, still have it, but I got to be able to use his death into something positive. Look how God has done this. God was able to take one life and bring another life together. I believe in reincarnation. Terry is living through his son now. You see, what the devil thought he took away from us, he gave us another joy. God gave us another joy. That's how I take it. The reason how I got over your question, how I got over it, I see my grandson, which is his son. I got a second do-over. That's the reality of it. That's how I look at it. Because, again, you never get over it. But God gave me an opportunity to redeem myself through my grandson and my sons and my daughters. You see, when I made a mistake there, He's gave me a do-over with all these other kids that which I have in my life. Because, number one, if you're a spiritual man, you're able to get through hard times without a doubt.
Why do you think the gun violence continues in Elizabeth?
As I'm saying the word about love, if I say I love you, I want to do it with an action. It's a verb. Love is a verb. And we have to continue to do that. And I think a lot of these young people, no one really told them that they loved them, I believe. That's why we have what we have today. We have to show more love and compassion towards people in general. As far as, how I believe that we need to look at one another and help one another, each one teach one. Okay, I teach you, you teach somebody else. And then they keep rolling and rolling and rolling down. That's what it's all. Old African proverbs. It takes a village to raise one child. So instead of us looking at a kid and looking down on a particular kid, we need to come together and nourish the kid. Bring the kid back to his fruition. It's like a flower. You got to water the flower in order for it to grow. If we don't water it, it will die. So water could be the words, could be how you treat them, how you put stuff into them. That's the reality of what we need, especially in our community. And that's so important because I believe violence is based on lack of love, especially with the black on black violence. Because I'm pretty sure that the person that killed my son looked like him. So by they looking like him, should I be mad at every black person? Because someone, I believe, I'm pretty sure somebody that looked like my son killed him. So that's telling the people that's out there, we do not have to do that because we have to start focusing on black love other than black self-destruction. That's the key with me. And the message I want to give out, we got to show love and pump it into their heart and their mind and let them believe it. Don't just say it to shut them up. Show them you love them. Show them. That's what I'm at right now. Because if we can help one person, we help many. We got to keep teaching, keep teaching, keep teaching. You don't got to beat them in the head with a whole bunch of jargon. Simple. Hey, man, I love you. Hey, girl, I love you. Can I have a hug? How many of us hugging these young boys in the street? Or I hug my son right now. He don't like it, but I hug him today. Hug my daughters, hug my friends. Because it's so important that we hug them and show them love. We do it any other way. So the same compassion we got in the football, basketball, baseball field, let's show that in our community. That's where I'm at. Let's show them in our community.
When there are babies having babies, who's doing the teaching? Parents, we must set better examples for our children. They really are the future. To the teenagers, stay in school or pursue whatever it is you're passionate about. Because becoming an adult comes with a lot of responsibilities. To the young parents watching, it is important that you are being the best role model to your children. And you should want them to do better, be better than you. Because if you don't, then the cycle continues.
Hey yo, dog, I'm too violent and rude, trying to catch you on some low shit. That's why I silence the ooze. 40 shot caliber, never. Turn your stomach to juice. That's right. Squeeze your face, give it no roof like a coupe.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. If you pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. And they haven't even begun to pull a knife out, much less try and heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
Word. This for all the Panthers that rise. Word. I'm unforgiven since Dr. King was shy. Word. To the game, I love everything that Malcolm bought. Teaching us everything that Elijah taught. 60 years on the front line, Mr. Farrakhan. Showing us that this a race and not a marathon. Codeine and pills, them the scripts you on. Damn, America the new Babylon. Celebrate every day that a side of escape. I ain't shed a tear at my mama, father wake. God curse those that cursed our mother. How you say you love God, don't even love your brother. Yeah, but everything on the set though. Till them crackers grab you, get you to flip on your set though. Use a gun for my knowledge, I got a clip full. Can't raise your child, but you can raise up a pit bull. I know.
Don't tell me you're a good father and you don't have any community interest, no community concern. Because once you provide a child with life, then you gotta look at all aspects of life and become intimately involved with the development and nurturing of that.
You still chasing bags, you ain't catch them already. Gang, that's like these niggas' whole vocabulary. They don't listen to hoe, they still posting the money. Racks to your ear, where I'm from, couple hundred, it's money. They counting them 20s, captions I'm supposed to win. But you don't own the house that you posting in. Hove told you he ain't know what else to say. I'ma tell you it's okay to go Eric Benet.
You'll never be a happy woman dogging your man out.
You still a real nigga.
He's not a man yet, but he will be. But if you keep on dogging him, you won't have nothing, and you'll end up being a lesbian at home with yourself, with no man by your side because your damn mouth is what it is. It's a sneak.
I know. You still a real nigga though.
And a man can't live under that because he got enough hell on his head as it is trying to function in a white man's world. And he needs a wife that has compassion and understanding, and that's the value of the MGT. The MGT is supposed to make you a woman to help you make a man for God.